In the heart of one of the most unforgiving deserts on Earth, where the sun blazes mercilessly and shadows stretch long against the horizon, a curious phenomenon unfolds. A mystery that has baffled scientists and explorers alike. Here, in Death Valley's racetrack playa, heavy stones move on their own, gliding silently across the cracked earth, leaving behind long, winding trails that etch the dry lake bed like whispers of a forgotten dance. As the sun dipped low, casting hues of orange and violet across the vast expanse, the playa appeared almost lifeless at first glance. But a closer look revealed the scattered presence of rocks, ranging from small pebbles to massive boulders weighing hundreds of pounds. Each stone bore witness to an inexplicable motion, trails curving and twisting in a manner that suggested intent, as if they were performers in a silent ballet under the vast, indifferent sky. For over a century, observers had returned to this desolate stage only to find the rocks had shifted since their last visit. Alfred Church, a meticulous surveyor in the 1940s, endeavored to map the rocks' positions. Yet upon his return, he found dozens had moved, some as far as tens of meters, leaving deep grooves behind. The inexplicable nature of these movements ignited intrigue in the hearts of many. Scientists proposed countless theories, attempting to explain the dancing stones. Some hypothesized that wind could account for this movement, but the sheer weight of some rocks rendered that theory implausible. Others suggested the influence of water currents from rare floods, yet racetrack playa rarely held water, and the patterns left behind seemed too deliberate, too orchestrated to be mere chance. A glimmer of hope for understanding emerged with the ice theory. On rare, frigid winter nights, shallow water would freeze into delicate sheets around the stones. As the sun's warmth cracked the ice, it would drift, nudging the stones along the mud. Gentle winds could quicken this process, allowing boulders to slide gracefully, leaving trails that mirrored the enigmatic patterns observed for decades. Time-lapse photography and GPS trackers ultimately confirmed this process, yet some trails still defied explanation, moving even when ice seemed unlikely. Among this eerie landscape, the stones held secrets that tantalized the imagination. The trails they left behind varied greatly, some straight and narrow, others spiraling and forking, forming a mesmerizing network on the playa's surface. Each line was a record of unseen forces at work, a silent testament to the delicate dance of nature's power. As observers stood among the trails, a sense of both awe and unease enveloped them. They felt a chill as they recalled stories of rocks moving in the dead of night, unseen by any human eye, leaving behind mere evidence of their journeys. The playa had transformed into a natural archive, preserving the subtle forces of physics over decades, each trail a whisper of movement. Even with modern tools, time-lapse cameras, GPS tracking, and scientific analysis, the mystery persisted. Some rocks would remain immobile for weeks, only to suddenly glide across the playa, while others shifted sporadically, creating intricate patterns that puzzled even the most seasoned researchers. The phenomenon seemed to exist in a delicate balance of known physics and unknown variables, an enigma wrapped in the beauty of the desert. The visual allure of the trails was undeniable. Each path, whether straight, twisting, or forking, contributed to an intricate tapestry that told a story of motion frozen in time. Observers could almost hear the silent whispers of the stones as they moved, a reminder that even the most ordinary objects could defy expectation. Among the rocks, one stood out, the famed Big Al, a colossal boulder weighing over 700 pounds, with a trail stretching more than 400 feet, its path suggesting deliberate navigation. Each movement, whether slight or grand, left behind a legacy, a record of nature's unseen forces in action. Standing on the playa, one could not help but feel a profound respect for the natural world, a world where even the heaviest objects could move in mysterious ways. The sailing stones were not merely a scientific curiosity. They were a testament to the wonder of nature, a gentle reminder that life exists in the unseen, waiting patiently to reveal itself. In the end, Death Valley kept its secrets close, the rocks sailing across the playa with a grace that both answered and deepened the mystery. Ice, water, soil, and subtle shifts in the environment explained much, yet the unpredictability of their movements endured, leaving behind trails of wonder and awe that beckons to be explored. Even amid the harshness of the desert, the sailing stones proved that there existed a realm of magic, hidden just beyond the reach of human understanding. In the heart of California, where the sun bleeds into the horizon and the land is alive with the buzz of life, a low, persistent sound thrummed beneath the surface. A sound that seemed to seep into the very bones of the earth and the minds of its inhabitants. It was a vibration that could not be seen, could not be located, and yet could not be ignored. For decades, residents and visitors alike had felt its unrelenting presence, a constant hum that lingered in the air like a ghost of forgotten machinery. Scientists, baffled, labeled it as unexplained, while locals lived in a maddening dance with its resonance. As the sun dipped low, casting elongated shadows across the streets, Maria, a single mother living in a small town near Los Angeles, stood in her kitchen, feeling the familiar tremor vibrate through the walls of her home. The hum was low and deep, akin to the distant roar of an engine, echoing like a heartbeat through the very structure of her life. It rattled her windows and sent shivers through her spine, a sensation that had become her unwanted companion during the stillness of the night. Maria had first heard the hum in her youth, a whisper in the background of her life that crescendoed into an omnipresent disturbance as the years went by. Sleepless nights became the norm as she tossed and turned, haunted by the droning sound that seemed to resonate in her chest, as though it were an echo of her own thoughts, amplifying her anxieties. Is it just me? She'd often wonder, grappling with the reality that many others in her community shared her plight. With each passing day, the hum grew louder, infiltrating her mind, a constant reminder of the mysteries that lay beyond human comprehension. In the mornings, the hum lingered like a fog, heavy and oppressive, while the sun struggled to break through the haze of her fatigue. Reports flooded in from across California, detailing experiences similar to hers. Headaches, sleeplessness, a gnawing sense of unease. Eyewitness accounts painted chilling pictures. It vibrates in your chest, one resident claimed, while another described it as the sound of an engine running under the earth. The stories grew, echoing through the streets like a haunting melody, intertwining the lives of those who suffered under its weight. Maria joined the growing community of the afflicted, attending meetings where residents shared their frustrations and theories, hoping to find solace in collective understanding. Some pointed fingers at industrial sources, suggesting the hum was merely a byproduct of progress, while others speculated about secrets hidden beneath the earth, perhaps even linked to the fault lines crisscrossing the state. Yet, no matter how many theories emerged, none could appease the gnawing discomfort that lingered in their chests. A glimmer of hope came when scientists arrived, armed with high-precision microphones and low-frequency sensors, scouring neighborhoods for answers. They measured the sounds, explored natural phenomena, and even turned their attention to possible man-made sources. But like waves crashing against a rocky shore, each investigation brought new theories, but no definitive source, leaving the community in a state of perpetual frustration. As Maria listened to the experts discuss infrasound and electromagnetic sources, a part of her felt the weight of despair. Was she doomed to live under the shadow of a sound with no explanation? The hum persisted, relentless, slipping through their fingers like sand. It became a psychological enigma, warping perceptions and creating an atmosphere thick with anxiety. Yet, amidst the chaos, Maria discovered strength within her community. Together they organized campaigns, launched noise cancellation experiments, and pooled their resources in a desperate bid to understand what tormented them. As weeks faded into months, Maria realized the hum had become a part of her identity. It was both a nuisance and an eerie comfort, a shared experience that bound her to others like a thread of commonality. They were no longer isolated voices in the night. They had transformed into a chorus, united by their struggle against an unseen adversary. In the end, the hum remained a mystery, a low-frequency enigma that danced on the edge of human perception, defying the technological advancements that surrounded it. The scientists eventually left, their findings inconclusive, yet Maria found a sense of peace in the shared human experience. They may never locate its source, but they had forged bonds of resilience and understanding against the unknown. The hum, that haunting vibration, had become a reminder that even in a world driven by science and logic, there would always be mysteries that lingered just beyond comprehension. And while the hum continued its relentless drone, for Maria, it transformed from a symbol of unease into a testament of shared strength, a story of humanity's unyielding quest for understanding amidst the inexplicable. On the remote ridges of California's Santa Lucia Mountains, where the air hangs thick with the scent of pine and the whisper of ancient oaks, a tale unfolds, one that has woven itself into the fabric of local lore, passed down through generations like a well-worn quilt. Here, as the sun dips low, casting long shadows against the rugged terrain, hikers and locals speak of the Dark Watchers, enigmatic figures that linger just at the edge of vision. Tall, silent, and impossibly still, they stand sentinel on ridgelines, watching, always watching. The Santa Lucia Mountains, with their steep and craggy peaks cloaked in a shroud of fog, are both beautiful and intimidating. As twilight descends, the landscape transforms, and the air grows electric, a tangible tension that prickles the skin. Hikers, drawn by the allure of adventure, often find themselves glancing over their shoulders, feeling the weight of unseen eyes upon them. The Dark Watchers are not mere shadows. They are a presence that evokes an inescapable sense of unease. Eyewitness accounts of these figures stretch back centuries, intertwining with the stories of the indigenous Chumash and Salinan tribes, who spoke of tall, shadowy beings guarding the mountains, observing human activities without interference. When Spanish settlers arrived in the 18th century, they too saw these tall men, forever standing watch, their gaze penetrating yet unresponsive. Descriptions of the Watchers are strikingly consistent. Up to 8 feet tall, featureless, and shrouded in shadow, they blend seamlessly into the mountain's silhouette. Witnesses often report a chill that seeps into their bones, a palpable tension that fills the air, as if the mountains themselves are breathing alongside them. Some hikers recount encounters that last mere moments, while others feel anchored to the spot, unable to look away from the looming figure, its stillness both mesmerizing and terrifying. Attempts to approach these Dark Watchers invariably end in futility. As soon as one attempts to close the distance, they vanish, like smoke caught in a breeze, leaving only the lingering sensation of being observed. Empty ridgelines stand mute in their place, but the impression of silent vigilance remains, a haunting reminder of what could have been. Skeptics have proposed various explanations: misidentified shadows, distant trees, or the play of light and fog on the rugged landscape. Others suggest pareidolia, the brain's tendency to recognize human shapes in ambiguous patterns. Yet, those who have felt the weight of their gaze know these explanations fall short. The Dark Watchers evoke a visceral reaction, chills that dance along the spine, tension that clouds the mind, an awareness that transcends mere visual illusion. In a world increasingly dominated by logic and reason, paranormal enthusiasts have spun theories that stretch beyond the ordinary. Some suggest these Watchers are interdimensional beings, straddling the line between realms, while others posit they are ancient spirits, intertwined with the very essence of the land. Folklore casts them as guardians, neither malicious nor benevolent, existing solely to observe and then evaporate before they can be fully acknowledged. Compellingly, encounters with these figures tend to occur during the twilight hours, when light wanes and shadows lengthen, amplifying the sense of mystery. The silence that accompanies each sighting is almost deafening. There are no footsteps, no rustling leaves, just an oppressive hush that amplifies the psychological weight of their presence. Visitors often describe the encounter as almost spiritual, a communion with something beyond comprehension. Hiking guidebooks occasionally mention the Dark Watchers, not as mere folklore, but as cautionary tales for the unwary. Many locals have learned to coexist with the possibility of encountering these shadowy observers, accepting the unexplainable. The mountains, though inviting, hold a deep-seated secret, a mixture of awe, fear, and the unshakable feeling of being watched. Scientists, too, have sought answers, though the elusive nature of the sightings complicates their inquiries. Some attribute heightened awareness during isolation to natural illusions, while others suggest cultural narratives prime hikers to interpret vague shapes as humanoid figures. Yet to those who have experienced the Dark Watchers firsthand, these explanations seem inadequate, failing to encapsulate the raw intensity of the encounter. The legends of the Dark Watchers have inspired books, documentaries, and a myriad of discussions, each rendering them as mysterious observers, forces that loom just beyond perception. In art and literature, they symbolize the unknown, a reminder that even familiar landscapes hide secrets that evade human understanding. Despite the unsettling tales, the hiking trails of the Santa Lucia Mountains remain ever popular. Visitors are drawn not just to the rugged beauty of the terrain, but to the thrill of the unknown, the chance to witness something extraordinary. Cameras in hand, some actively seek the Dark Watchers, hoping for a glimpse or tangible proof. Most leave empty-handed, but carry with them an echo of unease, the lingering sensation of being observed, even long after their departure. The mystery of the Dark Watchers persists, existing at the fringes of reality. Each witness describes a similar figure, yet no photograph or evidence has definitively captured them. They are enigma, shadow and silhouette, perception and presence, a phenomenon that straddles the divide between reality and legend. In the end, the Dark Watchers of the Santa Lucia Mountains remain an enigma, whether spirits, psychological phenomena, or something entirely unknown. They continue to silently observe, hidden in the ridges and valleys, serving as a ghostly reminder that the natural world still holds secrets, silent, patient, and impossible to fully grasp. In the heart of San Jose, California, a mansion looms, its silhouette a jagged reminder of the past, a sprawling labyrinth known as the Winchester Mystery House. This architectural enigma, constructed by the tormented widow Sarah Winchester, is not merely a house, but a testament to the human spirit grappling with grief and madness. As visitors approach, the air thickens with an unnameable tension, the kind that sends a shiver down the spine and beckons curiosity to delve deeper. The mansion sprawls over 24,000 square feet, with over 160 rooms, each corner shrouded in a veil of mystery, echoing tales of obsession and the supernatural. The story of Sarah Winchester began in shadows, her life forever altered by the cruel hand of fate. After the loss of her husband, the inventor of the notorious repeating rifle, and the untimely death of her child, Sarah found herself adrift in a sea of despair. Desperate for solace, she sought the counsel of a medium who spun a chilling tale. The spirits of those slain by Winchester rifles were restless, seeking revenge. Their message was clear: construct a house to appease them, never stopping, lest their wrath befall her. And so, she obliged, letting the haunting whispers guide her, constructing endlessly for nearly 4 decades. As the sun set behind the mansion, casting long, eerie shadows, Sarah's story unfolded like the very architecture she created. The house, with its staircases that ascended to nowhere, doors that opened onto solid walls, and corridors that twisted into impossible paths, became a reflection of her tumultuous mind. Each oddity seemed designed not merely to confuse mere mortals, but to navigate the spiritual turmoil that plagued her day and night. Visitors, upon stepping inside, often felt an overwhelming sense of unease, as if the very walls were alive, breathing with the weight of countless untold stories of sorrow and regret. The ceilings towered above, adorned with ornate details, yet the atmosphere felt charged with a heavy energy that entwined itself around the heart. Rooms emerged in peculiar shapes, some triangular, others oddly proportioned, creating a surreal ambiance that felt both enchanting and disorienting. As one ventured deeper, the mansion revealed its secrets. A series of uneven staircases led to dead ends, and windows framed views of other rooms rather than the outside world, a deliberate design that amplified the disarray. Sarah Winchester, often seen drifting through the halls at night with a flickering candle, became a specter of her own creation. Her restlessness mirrored the incessant hammering of construction as she directed workers with a resolve born from her grief. Was she a woman haunted by the past, or had she become a mere architect of her own nightmares? The mansion's construction never ceased, echoing the ceaseless turmoil that churned within her soul, a living monument to her unresolved tragedies. As legends about the mysterious house grew, so did its notoriety. Paranormal enthusiasts flocked to its doors, drawn by tales of ghostly encounters and inexplicable phenomena. Whispers of cold drafts brushing past closed doors, shadows flitting through the periphery, and distant footsteps reverberating through empty halls became the stuff of legends. Each visit felt like stepping into a living ghost story, where the line between reality and the supernatural blurred, and the air sparkled with unspoken fears. Despite its unsettling allure, the Winchester Mystery House transformed into a sought-after tourist destination, a place where the curious could embark on guided tours that unveiled its architectural oddities, the life of Sarah Winchester, and the haunting whispers of the past. Each nook and cranny became a testament to the human condition, a poignant exploration of grief that resonated with all who entered. Was Sarah truly ensnared by her own fears, or did she craft a sanctuary for the restless spirits? The echoes of her life lingered, a poignant reminder of how obsession can shape the world. Today, as daylight fades and the mansion stands resolute against the encroaching night, it retains an air of mystique. Each tour reveals new secrets, hidden passageways, bizarre angles, and the uncanny sensation of being watched. The Winchester Mystery House remains an enduring testament to the complexities of the human heart, a place where loss intertwines with the unknown, leaving an indelible mark on all who dare to explore its enigmatic halls. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Mount Shasta stood resolute against the fading light, a majestic sentinel over northern California. To the untrained eye, it was merely a snow-capped peak, but to countless generations, it was a tapestry of mystery, legend, and otherworldly energy. The air was crisp, carrying whispers of ancient tales, tales that beckoned the curious to venture into the heart of the mountain's legends. The mountain loomed large, its towering height of 14,179 feet, a stark contrast against the sprawling valleys below. The Native American tribes, including the Shasta and Wintu peoples, revered Mount Shasta as sacred ground. To them, it was more than a geological formation. It was a living entity, a home to spirits, where the physical and spiritual realms intertwined. The presence of the mountain inspired stories of guardians and mystical beings, protectors who watched over the land with an eternal gaze. As the first settlers arrived in the 19th century, they too felt the pull of the mountain's majesty. Miners and explorers shared tales of strange lights flickering on its slopes and unexplained sounds echoing through the valleys. Some claimed to hear haunting chants drifting from the ridges, while others spotted shadowy figures looming large against the setting sun, figures that could not possibly be human. These unsettling experiences, often dismissed as mere figments of imagination, slowly took root, growing into modern legends that danced on the edge of disbelief. Among the most captivating of these legends was that of the Lemurians, an ancient civilization said to have fled their sunken homeland and found refuge beneath Mount Shasta. According to lore, vast underground cities thrived within the mountain, inhabited by wise beings who had observed humanity for millennia, Some claimed that these Lemurians had not only survived, but continued to protect the Earth from hidden dangers, their spirits interwoven with the fabric of the mountain itself. Adventurers journeying to the slopes of Mount Shasta often recounted inexplicable experiences. Orbs of light that darted through the twilight sky, descending into the dense woods, or spectral melodies that seemed to emanate from nowhere. Local lore was rich with accounts of peculiar weather patterns that appeared to be orchestrated, dense fogs that cloaked certain areas in an air of palpable mystery. Skeptics labeled these occurrences as atmospheric quirks, but the sheer volume of consistent reports suggested a deeper, more enigmatic truth. Furthermore, the mountain was said to be a conduit of mystical energy. New Age seekers flocked to its base, believing it to be a spiritual vortex where energies converged, enhancing meditation, healing, and even psychic abilities. Many claimed to have experienced life-altering moments of clarity, prophetic dreams, and profound connections with nature. Whether these phenomena stemmed from natural forces or otherworldly origins, the allure of Mount Shasta as a beacon of mystical power was undeniable. While the mountain's mysteries captivated the imaginations of many, it also harbored darker tales of hikers who would vanish for hours, only to emerge with no recollection of their lost time, or encounters with figures that melted into the shadows before they could be grasped. Skeptics suggested disorientation, yet believers swore that Mount Shasta concealed realms beyond human comprehension. Even the scientific community could not entirely dismiss the mountain's oddities. Geologists acknowledged the volcanic activity beneath its surface, suggesting it could account for some of the strange occurrences reported over the years. Yet such explanations fell short of unraveling the intricate tapestry of Lemurian tunnels, guardian spirits, and psychic experiences that had compiled over generations. Mount Shasta's legends had inspired countless narratives, documentaries, and pilgrimages. Spiritual seekers embarked on journeys to its slopes, hungry to experience its energies firsthand, while thrill seekers scoured its forests for hidden caves and ethereal lights. The mountain remained a symbol of the unknown, an intersection where myth and reality blurred, leaving the ordinary world feeling insignificantly small beneath its towering presence. Perhaps what captivated the heart most was Mount Shasta's enduring nature. Across centuries, cultures, and scientific inquiry, the mountain maintained its aura of mystique. Legends persisted not merely due to evidence, but because the mountain itself commanded awe and respect. It stood as a realm where imagination and history danced, where spirituality and the natural world intertwined, and where the unknown thrived in quiet strength. Now, standing before Mount Shasta, one could not help but feel its powerful presence. Its slopes stretched endlessly upward, peaks shrouded in a veil of clouds, while its forests whispered secrets just beyond reach. For those willing to listen and explore respectfully, the mountain offered glimpses of something ancient and profoundly mysterious, a reminder that there are still wonders left in the world, waiting to be discovered. Mount Shasta was more than a mountain. It was a nexus of stories, experiences, and unexplained phenomena, a place where human curiosity met the vast unknown. Each shadow, every flickering light, and every whispered legend hinted at truths that danced just out of grasp, enduring like the mountain itself, silent, watchful, and eternally enigmatic. On a crisp afternoon, March 16, 1962, San Francisco International Airport buzzed with the excitement and trepidation that filled the air like the scent of jet fuel. Among the thrumming of engines and the chatter of travelers, Trans World Airlines Flight 739 stood ready to embark on a mission shrouded in secrecy. Its fuselage gleamed under the California sun, a sleek Lockheed Super Constellation, the pride of aviation engineering. Inside, 93 U.S. Army soldiers, courage etched into their youthful faces, sat alongside 3 South Vietnamese military men and an eager crew of 11. Their destination was Vietnam, their mission classified. A weighty silence cloaked their resolve. As the clock struck 12:30 p.m., the roar of the engines thundered through the terminal, a promise of flight. The plane lifted off with grace, its wings slicing through the clouds as if they were mere whispers. Each soldier leaned against the windows, gazing out at the sprawling Pacific, a vast expanse of deep blue that sparkled like diamonds under the sun. Hope mingled with fear in their hearts, a cocktail of emotions shared among strangers bound by duty. But as the aircraft soared higher, a growing unease settled in. After scheduled stops in Guam and the Philippines, the plane vanished into history, swallowed by the ocean's depths without a whisper of distress. The airwaves fell eerily silent, the radar screens dimmed, and in that moment, Flight 739 ceased to exist. It was as if the plane had evaporated into thin air, leaving only questions that would hang like storm clouds over the families waiting at home. The U.S. military launched an immense search operation, sweeping over 200,000 square miles of ocean, a vast canvas of undulating waves and haunting silence. Yet despite their fervent efforts, nothing emerged. No wreckage floated to the surface, no life vests or bodies surfaced from the depths. In a cruel twist of fate, a nearby ship reported a blinding explosion, illuminating the night sky. But still, proof remained elusive. Was it sabotage, a calculated act of Cold War espionage? Or was it a mechanical failure of catastrophic proportions? Whispers of something otherworldly began to swirl, as strange lights danced in the Pacific skies that night. The families of the lost soldiers demanded answers, their voices rising in unison, only to be met with the suffocating silence of the government. In the years that followed, the soldiers of Flight 739 were left unacknowledged, their names missing from the hallowed Vietnam Veterans Memorial, as officials claimed they had not been in a combat zone. Their sacrifice, a bitter pill of invisibility that haunted their loved ones. Time rolled forward to 2021, when the families, weary of waiting for recognition, took matters into their own hands. In a small town in Maine, they erected a memorial, a beautiful tribute engraved with every name of the missing, a poignant reminder of the lives cut short and the bravery that went unrecognized. The names shone against the cold stone, a testament to love, loss, and resilience. Flight 739, an enigma wrapped in mystery, remains one of aviation's greatest unsolved puzzles. A plane carrying 107 souls vanished without a trace, leaving behind a haunting legacy of unanswered questions and whispered suspicions of sabotage and espionage. Today, this ghost flight continues to haunt the skies over California, a poignant reminder of the sacrifices made in silence, echoing through the passages of time.